check 1, 2.
Morning, welcome to the Billabong Pro, Jeffreys Bay. It is Tuesday, July 19th, day 6 of the waiting period. Ronnie Blakey and Joe Turpel here for the morning show. Joe, how are you today?
Doing great this morning, Ronnie. Last night I started hearing rumors about maybe a possibility of finishing the round. I think that cold night air sometimes is a good sign, and Kirsten from the ASP had talked to Sean Holmes and was thinking, hey, we might get a chance to maybe run those last few heats of the round. So we'll see what the call is going to be this morning, though.
Yeah, Adam Rapogel and Luke Egan down here on the surface deck also, just assessing conditions all morning with the contest director and the head judge. And I believe Adam is ready to have a chat with Louis right now.
Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Joe. Down here again, day 6 at 2011 Billabong Pro. It's looking really small this morning, probably the smallest morning, Luke, that we've seen the whole waiting period. But now it sounds a little more optimistic on the back end of the week. What's the forecast looking like?
Yeah, hopefully that Friday we're going to get some surf, because we still need just a bit over 2 days to finish the event. Today it's a no-brainer. It's so small out there, it's not even rideable. So day off today, you know, check back tomorrow morning 7 a.m. and we'll have another look at it. But hopefully Friday looks a little bit better so we can go through Saturday, Sunday. But like always here at Jeffreys Bay, the winds are so unpredictable what it's going to do by the weekend. Some people are saying good winds, some people are saying a bit iffy. So let's hope the winds are good for the weekend. We get a good start then. But still check back tomorrow. As we saw yesterday morning, we didn't think, you know, that swell, it was a maybe to turn up, and we got some heats done. So got to check in every morning and see what happens.
Well, you heard it, Ronnie. You heard it, Joe. You got to be here first rooster if you want to see what the swell is going to be like. But you're looking at it right now behind me. It's really, really small. Ronnie, Joe, back to you guys.
Thank you, Adam. And Adam's been the earliest rising rooster here at Jeffreys Bay. He's down here every morning checking it first thing. He's been out there all over that lineup. Have you had a surf yourself yet, Joe?
Yeah, I've been getting out every chance I get, even into the dark last night. There's always something to ride. I think it's just exciting to be at Jeffreys Bay. We're always hoping for the best conditions to run the event, but you can kind of run down this long point, get down to the tube section way down there and mess around, or just try your best up at Boneyard. So sometimes there's little waves breaking and you can still have a couple.
Most definitely. Well, we've had Adam and obviously Luke Egan giving us the report every morning. Assisting them is Surfline, and they're with us again for the official forecast. Let's check out some of the models that they've sent through earlier this week. Starting off with the 7-day forecast. It's around about the 5-day forecast now. We've been replaying this one. Not too much has changed the last couple of days, and it's still just showing that we're seeing a little bit of a lull between the different swells. So expected to happen Tuesday and Wednesday was always going to be small. The swell wave height chart here is showing that storm that has been predicted to form in the South Atlantic, and it's setting up a good couple of remaining days of the waiting period. So fingers crossed that eventuates. We're really banking on it. And then the last frame we're going to have a look at is the Surfline 14-day forecast, displaying the new run of south-southwest swell that we're banking on, that I spoke about before. And I'm really hoping that it actually pulses through a little bigger than we're thinking.
Exactly. I think with the long range, we talked about it early when we were trying to predict this last pulse for the last couple of days. Once you get a little bit closer, you start to kind of really start to see all the subtle details with the wind. We were worried about an onshore flow. We're going to actually really be able to nail the timing down as it progresses. So Kevin Wallace and the crew really helping us out over the last couple of days, working out those little details from Surfline. So we really appreciate those reports.
For sure. You're working for Surfline these days, Joe.
Yeah,
in the office.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. You just hang out with the forecasters over there and bug them each and every minute as much as you can, because you just want them to tell you where to surf every day. I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah, perfect. It's all done. All right, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have a look at some beautiful rides here at Jeffreys Bay, and plenty more to come on the morning show. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
Surface Visitations, or S4C, is basically a group of my surfing friends and I who have come together to be a voice for our marine environment, for the surfing collective around the world, trying to do what we can to stop whaling, to educate our global surfing community, and to inspire action to see these insane, brutal acts of murder on dolphins and whales stop.
Welcome back. You're watching the Billabong Pro J-Bay. This is the morning show with Ronnie Blakey and Joe Turpel. And Joe, yesterday it was a bit of a half day. We waited, we deliberated for a long time on starting that second round, but in the end there was some pretty decent waves and some really good scores were locked in.
It definitely was. It took a while to get it going. I think that the thought process behind it was every time there was a good one that came through, it was just a little few and far between, but absolute gems, real clean line. And even Kieran Perot was saying he was kind of outvoted in the morning, but then once the contest was on, he was like, hey, that was a really good call. We had some really good opportunity out there.
Well, speaking of Kieran Perot, he was standing just behind us a moment ago. I'm just going to call him over. KP. Kieran. We'll get him in, and we're going to review some of the best waves of the second round. Morning, Kieran. How are you?
Morning.
Were you just carrying around an empty cup there, or was there something in that?
I left my cup here yesterday too, so I just finished my tea. I put it there.
All right, mate. Look, we're going to check out some of the highlights of the second round. I want you to talk through some of these waves for us. And the first heat was a really big talking point. Kelly Slater not turning up. What were your thoughts on that just before we check out Travis Lucky in the first heat of the day?
Yeah, Travis was pretty excited, I think, because Kelly wasn't coming. Kelly looked like he was scoring waves in Fiji and he wasn't going to make his heat. Travis was ripping. He looked really free and loose out of the top. I thought it was going to be a bit closer heat, but the waves were pretty slow.
Yeah, Travis is a real threat out here. He's one of those guys who could take that opportunity and run a long way in the draw with it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, he's right on the verge of making it back into the tour, and a bit of relief on his part. He's been waiting around for days, not knowing what Kelly was doing. So yeah, seeing he's a quickie rider, I thought they might have worked that one out, but all good. He's in.
All right, well, we're looking at Taj Burrow footage now. This was Taj's round 2 clash with Sean Holmes, and TB, he really put the sword to Sean Holmes early.
Taj looked really free and loose as well. He was looking way more confident than his first round heat, I reckon, and he surfed really well in that heat. The waves were great. They sat around for a little bit at the start and kind of maybe a bit deep. There was a few sets down the end, and then they got to work, and both of them were surfing really well, but Tash just was throwing the tail around out of the lip.
For sure. Well, talking about guys building confidence, B. Durbidge, he's been building with each event. He's looked shaky in the first couple of events of the year, got a better result in Brazil, and I thought in this heat we saw a transition of, Bede actually looking less confident in the beginning and then looking really strong towards the end. He had a hard fight against Sean Joubert.
Yeah, Sean Joubert was ripping, and it was really tight at the start. All the boys were sitting up the top, and it was really exciting actually, because they both pretty even pegging at the start, and Sean Joubert actually looked a bit edgier at the beginning, and then Bede got this wave that we're watching right now and absolutely tore the bag out of it. Ended up with the highest score of the one of the highest scores of the day, and really solidified the lead. And then Sean looked a little bit rattled after that.
Yeah, that's the wave that Bede's kind of needed all year. It's the first time I've seen him just get his timing right back on track. Heat number 4, this was a big one. Everyone was hanging to see how Adriano de Souza would cope with this knee injury. He's the world number 1, and he didn't disappoint.
No, he really impressed me actually. I saw one turn that he did. It wasn't one of his scoring waves. He came so fast out of the lip, it was unbelievable. And yeah, he's looking really confident, and good to see that his injury's not affecting him. But I think that was his highest score we were just watching there. But this is the turn right there. It was huge.
Biggest turn of the day for sure.
Yeah, giant. And to make that kind of speed and transition out of the lip at J-Bay is really difficult to come down so vertically.
I was just going to say, sorry, I think at this point you were kind of going, oh, I'm really glad they made the decision to run. And I'm sure everyone in the draw was thinking that. But then when this next heat paddled out, things went pear-shaped.
Yeah, it did, and J-Bay's really notorious for that, and I was really just crossing fingers that those heats were going to carry through and there'd be enough waves, but it was a bit of a bummer. I mean, the guys didn't get much opportunity at the start. They had a restart, and then they both had pretty sort of similar waves. Freddie's were just a little bit smaller. He was ripping on them, and it's just unfortunate. Owen was also tearing.
Well, looking at the highlights, it didn't actually look that bad, but it was a really slow heat. But all the action happened in the last minute. Freddie P had the lead. Owen was chasing a 3, didn't get it. He quickly raced up the line, dummied Freddie into this wave, and Fred tore this one apart. And I was thinking, well, that's it. Nails in the coffin, and Owen's out of the event. But Owen, he didn't give up, and he fought back. Really composed performance from him.
Yeah, it was great, and you know, he was really lucky with 20 seconds to go. The wave popped up, but Freddie had to go that one, and he surfed it really well. And it's just one of those heats that you know, when you don't get many opportunities, you've got to make the most of each of them.
Well, after that heat, we decided that this would be the last one of the day, and I tell you what, Ace Buck got off to a flying start, and he never looked back.
Yeah, I haven't seen a backhand surfer do a roundhouse cutback at J-Bay for a long time, and Ace did really well on that first wave. Smashed the next few sections, and started off with a really high score, and for Corey that was going to be a difficult task to turn that around when the waves are so inconsistent. It really went slow after that.
Ace has established himself as one of the backhand surfers to beat out here in this event. With that performance, I thought was super strong, and just have a look at his last ride here.
Yeah, he's always really good to watch on his backhand. He throws a lot of spray, and yeah, there he's fast out of the lip. It's timing is everything out of J-Bay, and he's doing it really well. Finishes strong, and Corey got a good one as well. I think he surfed it unreal, but he just didn't have that second wave, didn't have the opportunity. Yeah,
poor Corey, he only caught the one wave in the heat, and he only really had the one opportunity. So Kieran Perro joining us to review the round 2 highlights. KP, mate, we'll let you get back to your empty cup and an empty lineup too today.
Yeah, thanks. I'm going to refill it and call the kids.
Good luck, mate. Good luck in the contest. KP will be surfing in the second round when we get it back underway. But Joe, it's been an incredible event so far, despite us not having all-time J-Bay. We've still seen some huge scores, none bigger than the heat score total Jordy Smith put together.
Wow, what a performance Jordy Smith had just the other day. He opened up with exactly what we wanted the defending champion to do. He had the big draw with the rematch of Adam Melling of the final last year, and Sean Holmes adding to that list. And Adam Melling and Sean Holmes were ripping.
Oh, absolutely. It was a tough draw. The first round, there was probably no tougher draw in the first round. Jordy Smith, Sean Holmes, Adam Melling in a heat together, but Jordy just went mental. And he actually had 2 of the smaller waves in the heat. He probably caught smaller waves than the other guys he was surfing against. It's just a testament to how well he surfs his wave. And we got the highlights of that heat on screen for you now. And Jordy's heat score total actually has him as the front runner for the Nixon WTA Award. Joe, tell us a little bit more about that.
As we see that big pun, he's definitely earning it. That $10,000 custom watch on the line. Look at that loft there on that big pun out the back, right into a snap off the top, into a float. Watch this thing just double up on the inside too after that massive snap. Once again, now he's going to fade and get this little inside line. An amazing read on this wave from Jordy Smith, the defending champion at Jeffreys Bay. Nice float off the top and just put it all the way together. No one really predicted this wave going this far. It ended up being a 9.0 and has him in that position. 16.87 total, and we'll see if that's going to hold. That was obviously the first round. We have the final stage to come, and usually that's where everyone just lays it all on the wire. So I'm expecting these guys to kind of up that highest combined heat total as we progress on.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be safe. Jordy's probably, you know, his own major threat in that scenario, though. I think he'll eclipse that scoreline pretty easily once he gets on a bigger set wave. Well, right now we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, more highlights from the event, and we're also going to check out Jeffreys Bay, how to surf this wave properly, Joe. And some of the waves that we saw earlier on when we were reviewing that footage are unbelievable.
Oh, it's fantastic to see the guys that surf this wave so well. It's often talked about how difficult it is to surf it well for the first time. So it's going to be exciting to see, learn from the best how to surf this amazing point break.
Absolutely. Stay with us. You're watching The Morning Show.
Keyhole at the dolly. Seeing the unknown. Well, it might have been a molly. Could my mind being blown? Take the escalator to the next floor. You turn around and you don't know where you've been. You look up at the glass dome and the room begins to spin. Let's go out and find the ocean, 'cause I think we need to swim.
Welcome back. You're watching the morning show from Jeffreys Bay, and a beautiful morning here, but not a lot of waves on offer.
Definitely the smallest day we've had so far, and with yesterday's kind of surprise, we thought we might possibly be getting into something good today, maybe trying to finish that second round, but obviously, like you guys could tell, and like we heard from Luke Egan and Adam Rapogel this morning, it's going to be off for the day. They're not going to postpone any calls. Pretty clear to see that they're going to try to wait for the last few days of the waiting period.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see some really, really nice big walls out here at Jeffreys. We haven't seen it yet, but over the years, this event has continued to deliver. We've had some amazing highlights, and one thing we're always talking about, Joe, is how difficult this wave is to surf. And we're always referring to the guys that surf it really well. We're going to check out some clips of them now and break it down for us, Joe, the first wave.
First wave here, we've got one of the best to surf the place ever. Taj Burrow comes flying out of the barrel. Look at that rip off the top. Amazing approach here at Jeffreys Bay. He's won here before. As you see him just belt that section, it's so hard to mix it up and throw variety as he got that drift off the top. Big section there, but look at him connect it. Changes it up again with a little layback snap off the top, and then a big rail turn. Watch this approach to the inside. Nice finishing move. Taj, one of the best out here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the guys that can make those transition turns convert into points. Jay Thompson, not really known as one of the best guys, but definitely picked off one of the best waves in recent years. He got a 10 for this ride. This was last year, and it was actually the first 10 of the year. They weren't just handing them out willy-nilly, and Bottle tore that thing apart, and it was kind of like his last hurrah as a World Tour surfer. Hopefully he can get back on tour, but very strong.
As we see this tube ride from Drew Courtney, look at that escape right there on the inside section. Amazing tube from Drew last year, and then right into Mick Fanning. This guy's won here before. Look how fast he can go, Ronnie, and light this place up.
Yeah, well, it's the guys with a lot of speed that are able to draw their turns out and not lose that down the line momentum. And you know, it's important to stay out in front of the wave so you get that green face. And the judges also love that committed end section maneuver, which we saw from Mick on that last ride.
And starting to miss this guy, Kelly Slater. Look at this approach here, just parking it in the tube. One of the best ever out here at Jeffreys Bay. An amazing run here all the way through this inside section. Just rips that thing off the top, making it look so easy. Look at that layback jam, and then here we go, off the bottom into the carving three. Unbelievable, Ronnie.
Well, on such a large wave, the long wave, sorry, the judges are really looking for variety in the turns, and no one has more variety than Kelly, as we saw. Sean Holmes, when it's a little bit bigger, he's so lethal out here. You know, it's the size of his turns. They're so top to bottom, he really draws them out, and it's really hard to compete with that if you're sort of riding smaller equipment, and you know, it is hard to draw your turns out. But Adam Melling, another point break surfer, he did a fantastic job out here last year.
And when he needed it, he needed to make the final to make the rotation, and look at how much ground he can cover. Beautiful carve into the pocket for Adam Melling. Nice rip off the top. Just such an amazing point break style, and he's able to change it up when he needs to and throw in some big variety. But this guy had the best of him last year, Jordy Smith, Ronnie.
Yeah, I think Jordy's kind of established himself as the form surfer out here in this particular era, and he's just so strong. He's got so much flair, but he also reads the wave with a lot of style. He's always finding all the tube sections, but as we said before, those big committed turns without losing that down the line momentum. And I think Jordy is definitely the guy to snatch the title from in 2011.
I believe you're right on that one. I think he's ready to defend it. He feels a little bit more support this year even from last year. We always talk about how cool it is to win, you know, with the home court advantage. And now I think Jordy's, hey, everyone's behind me again. Let's see how far I can take this one this year.
Well, he's got a mean draw to overcome some fantastic surfers in there, but I think you're right. I think the last few years, Jordy's sort of, even though he's such a huge bloke, he's kind of looked like a grommet still, but this year he just seems more manly, and the crowd's definitely behind him. I think they really connected with him last year at this event when he took it out. So definitely has the hometown support, and he will be hard to stop. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, you've got a whole different battle going on with guys trying to maintain a spot on the World Tour going into the back end of the season. We've been reviewing the ratings, and we're going to have a look at the One World ratings now, because it's kind of getting to that point at the moment where your focus shifts momentarily. You're not really looking at the world title race. You're looking at the One World rankings and seeing who's going to be challenging the world title towards the back end of the year.
Exactly. Well, you see, look on the list there. Kelly Slater still the world #1 when you think of the One World rankings. Remember, you hold your results for an entire year, so your results from J Bay will be replaced now. So Jordy's still counting the win from last year into his total, putting himself second in the world. So these guys obviously still very, very safe and looking for possibly, you know, to build up that world title race. This is how the seeding goes too. When you go to a world tour event, they take the seeding from the One World rankings and run it into the draw.
Well, the second frame here actually shows the highest placed surfer on the One World rankings that's not on the World Tour, and it's the surfer at number 19, Gabriel Medina. He's a really good chance of getting himself on the World Tour after the New York event. So he's in a fantastic position, and that's just incredible how far he's been able to climb.
His performance at Imbituba, he took that win over Tom Whitaker in the final. He was doing Supermans. He had everybody comboed from the quarters to the final in that prime event. So we'll be seeing Gabriel Medina shortly. And look at this, from 25 to 36, Ronnie.
Yeah, 25. Number 25 is an important one to take note of. Adam Melling, you mentioned before that you hold your points for an entire year. Well, Adam Melling's big result that he's banking on at the moment that has him inside the top 32 is his second place finish at Jeffreys Bay. Now, if he can't match that or better it, he's going to lose a lot of points here at Jeffreys and could see himself drop outside the 32. So he's basically in the same position he was last year, and he needs to really do the same damage that he did in the draw here at Jeffreys in 2011.
Very good point, Ronnie. And looking right under him, Miguel Pupo with that big win at Lower Trestles in the prime event. He's the other goofy foot Brazilian that could possibly be making that rotation after New York. As we move to kind of the scary end of the draw, we've got Kai Otten, 37th in the world. He had that big prime win as he was kind of, you know, spent some time in Brazil, got that wave at Saquarema when it was absolutely pumping, but still sitting 37th, not quite comfortable yet.
Yeah, he did a lot of time on the sidelines last year, Kai Otten, and I feel like he's only just starting to return to form now. He's a really confident competitor. As I said, there is still 3 events left, including this one, and the World Tour surfers had that advantage of being able to collect big points with big results. So Kai Otten, he's banking on a solid one here at Jeffreys. He should do well. He's a great surfer out here.
And also thinking about Corey Lopez on there, getting the spot in from Dane Reynolds' absence, and he's in a position, he's been saying, hey, if I could just make a couple of heats, I could be able to be in a pretty good position for the rotation.
All right, Joe, well, we've got another lay day. How are you going to spend it? You been up there to see the lions yet?
Not yet. I think that's going to be my day, Ronnie. What about yourself?
I'm just going to lock myself in my room and eat, because the food over here is pretty incredible. So, yeah, I'll work on that. But right now we're going to leave you with it. Have a look around the Billabong Pro website. Plenty to do, Jay. You've been tapping in each day.
It's pretty amazing. The heat's on demand. You see a lot of highlights. All the photos are unbelievable. And start preparing those Von Zipper Say What questions. Get as weird as you can, and you could win yourself some Von Zipper shades. So a lot of cool stuff to do for the time being.
Well, thank you, Joe, for joining us for the morning show. We're going to leave you with it now. Have a good night, and make sure you tune in bright and early tomorrow, 7 a.m. local time. We will make the official call.
Africa for me is somewhere kind of pretty close to my heart. My family's from Africa, and that's where kind of my roots are, although I was born in Australia. So every time I go back there, I'm just kind of amazed by the actual country, and I don't know, there's a real kind of powerful, you know, sense of, you know, history there, and the land kind of seems really powerful. It's just a special place, and I think everyone kind of really senses that when they're there. And you know, I always look forward to just the opportunity to go back to South Africa and obviously surfing J-Bay, but also getting to do some different things.
J-Bay's a special one. It's one of those waves that I've always seen as a kid and always wanted to go there, and now I've got to go there, you know, like 10 or so years straight, and every time I go to J-Bay I just get so excited.
It's one of those waves that you kind of dream about surfing ever since you're a young kid, you know. It's one of those mythical kind of surfing waves.
You know, when you wake up in the morning there, you're just like, you know, you can see the line, if the swell, it's just the most amazing feeling. You know, you kind of know when the winds go a certain direction and you know the swell's coming, it's just like everyone's rubbing their hands together. It's an amazing place. I mean, it's a perfect right-hand point, so I'm bound to get pretty excited about it.
J-Bay's, I guess, lucky because they have this wave here, and you know, a lot of people, surfers from all over the world, come here to surf this wave, and I guess it creates a lot of tourism. It creates surfers are a great bunch of guys. You know, they leave a good vibe. You know, there's never aggro. It's, you know, it's not a competitive thing, and the contest comes along, and everyone enjoys their time here. And it kind of gives back to the place, and you know, it gives a little bit of an economy boost to J-Bay, and I think it's a great thing. We all kind of benefit from this event.